trying to differentiate between the adjacent parts and non-adjacent parts.
Well, that has to do with simultaneous, successive, and sequential again.
Maybe. That's true. It does. You're right. You're right. So we have symbols for that. It can be. You're right. Yeah. Anyway, that's another issue.
Can we go on to spring?
Spring. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we make that.
I would like to add a word, aerial movement.
Yeah.
Yes, I prefer that to spring. Go into the air.
I with my kids say air movement, but as a formal thing, I'd say aerial movement. But I'm not right.
Go into the air.
Does everybody agree or disagree that that's on the feet?
No.
No.
Could be any.
That for that symbol?
The spring could be any. Yeah.
I know, but does this symbol say that the aerial movement has to be on the feet? It does not. Is there a way of saying that? Is there a symbol, or should there be a symbol then that says, a subset that says do an aerial movement on a foot, the feet, you know, any number of feet?
What if it's a double?
What?
The double
You have all
straight
those
lines.
different
At
But those
Yeah.
specify, those specify which part.
well, that would, no, 2 to 2, to me would say it's on the leg.
No, it wouldn't to me.
It would
because I
be
could
2
go
to
like
2.
Boom, land on my
Both
hand.
hands.
I mean, like a homologous movement
Yeah,
that
right,
just
right.
whaps onto my hands, which I'm not going to demonstrate right now since I'm
You
not.
have these
Like two
possibilities.
buttocks, like 2 feet.
I would just use the free sign in Charlotte.
I know.
You need to feet off the ground first. There you go. I think I would just use the free signs.
Okay. In my mind, you have lots of you have to have a way of saying aerial, is that how you spell it?
Yes.
Movement. Okay. Now, if you're saying that this is it. Okay. Now, do you want to have a way of saying, we have a way of saying 2 to 2 feet. Are you saying that this is 2 feet to 2 hands? Or is it 2
you
feet
take off the
to
2 supports and you land on 2 supports.
Okay. All right. So, do you want to have on all of these so
And
far?
usually it's the feet.
Okay. Then if these all do not connote a body portion, in other words, they mean this, right?
Okay.
Right? Is there a need for having a way of indicating all of these, but specifying it has to do with the feet?
No, there's not a need. I don't.
No, I don't feel, because if that, then you could just go into a Labang notation, be more specific.
Or do
The
it
motif is like, you know, you have a choice of doing things.
Or do what Tito did.
Yeah, he was saying there's fine if you really need to do it.
If you need to specify, then
And
specify.
what you really probably need to specify more than the feet is not the feet. Because
Right.
that's what everyone's going to do is the feet.
All right, if you're exactly. See, what I think is, and this is in your move, this is the way I've read, although subject to my brain changing, that I know that, but that these symbols, I mean, that these symbols specify feet. If you want to say any body part, you can do this, and then, because this happens so much more often, but that's an argument, you could say that's not a good thing. And then you can start saying, okay, I go from my hands to my feet. I go from a hand
All right.
to the feet.
I have a problem here.
It looks like a resulting ball.
I'm having a
Yeah,
problem
I think you
here.
should have the full.
I think we need the full thing, because when we do it the way you do it, that looks like a bow connecting my hands and feet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to be down on all fours.
So put on the Tina's one,
That
okay,
what?
instead of having the hands as the ending thing, have a
Here.
You just
Yes. This one here
Yeah.
looks like it's a bow
Right.
connecting my hands and my feet.
Right.
So I'm going to be down on all fours.
What, but
So
this
what
is
I
no-
wanna see
where does this
is-
ever be used as a bow?
The double bow.
Where does this ever, because this means, this means,
You could be touching your hands to your feet, and the feet are touching.
no,
Just a
touching
bow.
is always this way, it's not this way.
You could.
No, but it looks like a, what's wrong with this?
I like that.
But
I have a question.
I'll tell you why that's a
I have a
problem.
question. Do you connect them like this,
Yes.
or do you do them like this?
No, connected.
Can I even step back one
Okay,
further?
I'll show you a problem with that, Eileen. Okay, you go like this. Where did you write? All right, I'm gonna write it. All right, my hands.
Why do you connect them when you don't connect this
Oh,
way?
I think I would change
you know,
that,
it,
because this is general. These get into the specific forms. I think I would do this
Yes, but that
differently.
didn't answer my question.
Why is this connected and this isn't?
Yeah. The fact that one's general
Because
and
one
specific
says
doesn't.
any amount of feet. Could be right to left, 2 to 2, just an air movement.
This,
Can I ask a question about this in relationship to the derivation of the symbol originally, because I'm having trouble with the modifications because of that. My understanding was like this was the takeoff, this
Yes.
meant you were in the air, and this is your
Right.
landing,
Yeah.
the action starts doing
Right.
So then if you have the modification this way makes more sense than the way you originally
But
did
what
it.
if,
yeah, I would change my mind about that.
but what if you have this then? Well, where's your symbol? Like this?
Oh, I'm
This could
sorry.
mean,
that's okay.
this could mean, then, can I erase this? Okay, what if I have this? I'm writing an indicate thing. Okay, I could write this.
Right, now I'm gonna say.
All right, now I could say my 2 feet go up,
Right.
and then I do something else with my feet.
Yeah, but then if you have, yeah, that's
Oh,
what,
well,
that's
the
what I
body
Give me a
think.
break.
Come
You
after
think
the action.
this is better than...
Okay, but then I have another question, and that is in the latest, a motif at a glance or something, where Anne allows you to put the body part symbol to the side.
That's what I was just gonna
I
say, that's
don't
what I
like
would
that.
do.
I don't like it either,
No,
but
because
that
then
would
if
be a
you're writing
possibility
two,
for that.
if you're writing 2 columns, then it gets confusing as to what the symbol means in relationship.
Yeah.
Does it really relate to the symbol that comes after it, or does it relate to the symbol that comes next to it? Then you gotta start linking, and then we have all these linking bows. Talk about,
So what about pre-signs? Do you still call them pre-signs if you allow them to be on a horizontal level?
Yes.
only if they're linked.
Only if they're linked.
I think,
Only if they're linked? Because that's fine with me, but I don't know if I feel okay about that.
Link with the
It's not
connecting
linked.
bow?
Link with the
Yeah,
connecting
the
bow. Do you like, yes,
Yeah,
do you
so
link
if it-
them?
Yeah,
Then that's fine with me. Yeah,
In LN we do,
Good.
if it's a space consideration.
right.
Doesn't matter if it's
but you
underneath or
have to
linked
have
to
the
the side.
bow.
What was your example of why you would do that in another context? Why you would have the body part after the action? I don't know,
What?
There was some example.
Here, because there, your feet,
We were
how do I
showing
know
right.
that that means that my feet don't flex?
Right,
That
exactly.
may not mean that my feet flex. So then
But
I
there was
have
some discussion about earlier that there was another context for that of where you would need that kind of thing.
what?
That you have to specify the body part that's doing it, but it couldn't be before the action. But it could be a pre-sign.
Oh, another situation?
Right.
No, I'm looking for where she's.
I wonder if I would be more apt to do that.
There's one part of the
Here,
body. it's not a-
here she's got one where she's got a supporting and you're ending on the right knee. So she's got it at the end, support on the knees.
Okay.
But I would think that that could be
Draw
the beginning.
on the
I don't see why it has to be at the end. The pre-sign, the support is for a knee.
But you could
For
be
this?
standing here and ending on
Yeah.
it.
Because an action results in the support, so
Right,
it's
that's
not, you're not supporting on the knee and then do the action, you have to do the action to
So
get to
there's-
the knee. That's why it's at the
Right.
end of that.
The only,
I think that I would
But I don't
probably
see where
do
she
something
has
more
it
like
to
this,
decide.
because this is unusual.
Yeah.
This isn't used anywhere else in the system that I'm aware of, where the pre-sign comes at the end, and I think,
Would you have a connecting bow at the end there then?
for destination, possibly,
I just
Yeah, I
showed
think
you
so.
another
possibly.
example where it happens at the end. The supporting onto the knee.
No, but that's to do.
And that's what we're
But
doing
that's the
here too.
definition of that symbol is a movement that ends in a new
Ends in it.
support.
I know, so we're doing an airwork that ends in a new support.
Results
That's
on the
right.
feet, so, okay, I go along with that.
I don't see where it's at the
And
side.
why do you think that's preferable to having it just, that this body sort, the body parts take the place of the, see, to me, the action stroke, this means,
Because this has timing, and when you have the pre-signs don't have timing. You negate your ability to show duration of the takeoff, and of the landing.
Three sides have timing.
You but the
To show duration?
No, but it's included in the timing.
It's included in
Right,
Oh,
but
I see what you're saying.
Because-
I see what you're saying. Never mind, I see what you're saying. You're not saying that the pre-sign isn't part of the timing. You're saying that if it takes more time than what it takes to write that, you've got no way to elongate it.
yeah,
Make the
Unless you
bubble part
elongate
bigger.
those middle bow things.
yeah, and I try to teach the pre-signs being, what is it, set symbol size or like
Yeah,
flexion and
right.
extension.
But, well, the only way you could elongate the timing with that system would be, sorry, I didn't write it together.
well, that's elongating the amount of time.
on the air.
Not the time that you take on the
Uh-huh.
takeoff
Yeah.
and landing.
I have to say, too, that in this situation, I would probably write the two symbols independently, side by side. Because I
Way
think
I
it's just
just did
visually,
That I erased.
I think it's just visually, it supports the two takeoff, so I would have the left hand and then the right hand, as opposed to the combined sign. That's just a personal preference. Not that this would be wrong.
Can I add one other idea?
Sure.
That, that if you want, another way of having it, and I think this is what it is in your move, but that that this sign specifies something to do with the feet, and then you have to do something to modify that, to say that it has to do something to do with body, any body portion. And maybe it could be something like putting an ad lib through the support. Do you know what I mean? Put an ad lib on this.
No, it goes into something else. I don't want to go there.
Well,
To mean body, no, don't go there, please.
I mean, in a way,
I mean,
it kind
I
of-
think if you want to mean a different body part, then write a different, then write what you mean.
whether we create another symbol. I mean, in a way, it kind of like the way Tina said, the support starts on the hand and goes to the feet with the support bows, because you're not creating another symbol.
She wrote it here, like she did all the rest.
You know what I mean? Rather than
Maybe that's a
connect it
mistake,
with a
it's
connecting
every
bow.
other one that's voted.
Which,
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's a little more complex to write, but it's
Yeah.
not creating another symbol.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, there's
one?
two ways to describe a flower setting, so, there's multiple. Yeah, I don't know. I think that they're, if I saw either one on a score, I'd probably interpret them the same. But I don't know. I don't know which one I prefer yet.
say again, you don't know.
Of these two, John was just saying, I think he was just sort of starting to make preference of one over the other, and I said, I'm not sure if I.
Simply because we're not creating another
preference yet.
symbol if we use B, because we're using things we've already got.
But in B, from an LN perspective, in B, that could also be interpreted as you're putting in time value.
I know, that
the
concerns me, yeah.
Because you're indicating the moment of support rather than just being a generic saying
So
finish
this-
on the hand. You're saying when to finish on the hand.
This is all takeoff, and this is all landing, and
And
if
in B
your
says
takeoff and landing
at
is
the
shorter
beginning
time.
of the landing, but see, in a way though, that is technically correct.
Right, because you start to
Because
land
as
at
you
that
landing,
moment.
you're going to put your hand, I mean, your hands are going to touch before any, you do touch that soon. So that could be like the third layer of specificity if you want to say exactly when you're landing rather than just say just land on your hand. Well, I'm just...
So in a score, A looks so klutzy to me, but still, I can see the issue of timing. So in a score where I really am doing aerial movement and it's, you know, skip, hop, jump on my hands and feet, I'm going to have to glossarize it and say that erase the ad lib.
Thank you.
Okay, equals. And then I say that equals, and then I'd have to write A with feet as a pre-sign and feet as a post-sign.
Oh, to glossarize it, but that was always that way.
Right, because I think that...
Yeah, but then you're going to get in trouble because then that means every single time they do that in the score, it's hands to feet.
No, hands to feet, feet to feet.
Feet to
Feet to feet,
Oh.
because that's what I'm saying, in most, again, we have this thing, criteria, I'm kind of doing the opposite of what I said I wanted before, but contradicting myself, but in my mind, maybe I'm stuck with this, most of the time, maybe with my application, it's feet, so for me, the symbol means feet unless I do something else to it. But that is not necessary, you know, if you're doing...
It's a general symbol.
But if you're, again, it goes back to like what you were talking earlier, from what I'm hearing, going back, if you're talking about continuity of ideas, then
Right.
you're talking about context. If somebody's on their knees and you show jumping around, I'm going to assume that they're not jumping on their feet all the time, that they're going to just keep hopping around on their knees, that they're not going to be going knees to feet, knees to hand, knees to... that in context they're going to pretty much stay on their knees unless they're told otherwise.
But,
They have a
or if
choice.
they're on
But
their
also,
hands.
the choice should be open.
Right.
Yeah, the choice, but also, I mean, we have to look at how specific we want it to get. You've got to say it.
I think that's true.
It's to glossarize it, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's right.
That,
But the point is this symbol going to mean open to
Yes.
anything?
Yes, aerial movement, go into the air, spring, whatever.
Without specifying
Doesn't
anything to
specify
do with body push and involvement.
Right.
How then, we better make sure then we include 4 to 4. Hands and feet to hands and feet to hands and feet. And head and hands and feet. You can go head and hands and feet.
Then you glossarize it.
Charlotte, write it up.
Yeah.
No, really.
well, Charlotte, if you have this symbol, you could do.
You could do anything.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You put
But
this
all
word.
we've done, but in Anne's paradigm, when we start doing this stuff,
Right,
you
yes.
see this
connect
stuff, and you connect them, and they're connected. You see, yes, this
1
is
to 2.
something my little kids do a lot. Because when we put 4 to 4.
Go ahead,
You know,
you do. Okay,
they
come up
do
with
this
the
a
same
lot because they want to be whatever, monkeys, blah, blah, blah. All right, 4 to 4 is part of air movement lesson. Or then they get into, they want to go on their head and all this stuff. But in this paradigm, I know. You don't know. Yeah, but they're taking,
They might have hurt
they
themselves.
take gymnastics, and there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Here's two things I've got for 4 to 4. This
Improvisation.
one,
Well,
or if you want them all connected, this
All you
one.
have to do
Right.
is tell what the parameters are. And I think
Yeah, but the
rather
problem
than
with
dividing
that
the
is-
symbol.
Okay, we're running out of time here.
Yeah, I need to go to class.
Anyway.
We're running out of time here. We've got quite a bit added. Oh, yay! The one thing we didn't really set last time was when we were going to meet again. There was some talk about meeting perhaps in December if you were coming back to town, Peggy. And there was talk about coming in, meeting in January.